I said, we'll take care of it. Right.
Already got the 3 pages done.
Let me see that. Why? Let me see if I can get that up and running.
This?
Yes.
Already got 3 pages done.
Good. How about you just go doing it?
All right. Well, looks like we got one coming back with us. Couple. Are you guys? Is it any better? We're trying here.
Much better.
Good. I'm not sure what the deal was there. But hopefully it will stay this way. So I know there's only, well, just you back right now, Josh. If any of you guys have any questions, turn that off.
It's lagging a little.
Good, Happy Pappy.
Thank you for coming back, both of you.
Yeah, really. Happy Pappy, so we're apparently in your area, huh?
It must be a little bit of delay.
The BOL, that was one of my very first questions and was worried about. Most of the time, where you're going to pick up, the shipper has them for you. So they'll give them to you before you leave. They usually have you as a carrier sign them, keep them with you at all times. I don't know, Josh, if you have watched my video on being organized, but I keep all that in that orange envelope in the truck, the BOL, and that way when we've been pulled over for
DOT inspections
and things like that, it's right there where they can get it. So keep that there, and then what you do is just take it with the delivery, have them sign it, and then we send it back into the broker. If they don't have one, you can print off generic BOLs off the internet and keep a whole bunch of them in your truck, which I do, and so then you can make them yourself by filling in where it's going, who it's coming from, what it is, have everybody sign it.
Did you tell them you got it from the shipper? Is that where?
Yeah, usually you get it from the shipper, but like I said, just have some extras on hand.
So where was it?
Could be kick our daughter out, Happy Pappy. Versus get out in case it is too much movement. Go on.
I thought about just jumping off too. Let you
Yeah, all right. Maybe you can just hear our voices instead. No problem, Josh. That was one of our questions too. There's a lot of the things out there when you first start that you not sure how it works. Marissa, go sit down.
Hey.
Good. Garth. Where'd you go? What took you so long to get back? You're usually first and everything.
I'm sure he's watching someone else's videos.
That's all right.
Yeah, we want to kick her off anyways. She's a little distracting.
The carrier packages, those you will get from the carriers. Unless you're using a dispatch service, they will set those up for you. But the carrier packages,
you'll get them from the broker.
Yeah, you'll get them from the broker for that carrier. Just say it's TQL or whatever it may be, one of the brokers. They will email you the package. Because I don't want to carry a printer and a whole bunch of other things with us, I downloaded the PDF Expert app to my tablet and phone. And so when they email you those carrier packets, you just open them through that PDF file or that PDF app, and you can actually fill them out, sign them, and email them back to each broker. And that way you don't have to worry about getting to a printer or carrying a printer, and it works out really nicely.
Well, Todd's on here. Todd, I'm glad you came to the party.
Yes.
Better late than never. Happy Pappy. I agree with you. Just back to the BOL. Usually, that's one of the biggest things they look for is just,
Yes.
especially down here in Florida, as you go through the agricultural inspection stations, they just want to see the BOL.
That's usually the first thing I think, and every time we've went through inspections is they say, can I see your BOL? So,
Yeah.
and that makes it easy keeping them in the envelopes like I do. I know there's some other people that have different organization options, like Happy Pappy. I think you had a few good ideas, but that was just easy for me. So when we pull over, you know, we may have a couple loads on their time. I just grab the envelopes, pull out the BOL, and makes it really easy.
Yeah, I think you're, Happy Pappy. That's what I assume. That's what it's for, to make sure you haul cars, obviously, but to make sure the equipment's not stolen.
Which I don't understand, because if you can make your own BOL, how they know that you're not just doing that. I just never really understood that. But
yeah, and Josh, I mean, there is a lot to remember.
Yeah, there is, but it does seem overwhelming. So when you do start, just remember you have, I think, our email us and message us and ask any questions to help you, because it was very overwhelming at first, but it's not that bad once you get the hang of it. It's not that bad at all. Todd, how much weight can we haul with our trailer? About 17.7.
Yeah, legally I can do 17.7. That's just single wheel vehicle, my truck, and it's just a 30-foot trailer. It's just too much weight for my truck, so I try to keep it well below that.
Yep, and ours is a 30-foot. I don't know if you just said that.
Yeah, I just said 30-foot.
Told you. Florida sun frying my brain.
Yeah, Happy Pappy. That's what they ask me every time I've gone through.
Yeah.
They always stop me and say, "Can I see your BOL?"
And then they keep it in there a while and look like they're writing something down. So I don't know if they're writing down what we came through with or why they do that. But every time we go in those agricultural stations, they've asked us for those. Oh, good. I'm glad you used the PDF suggestion. That just works a lot better. I know a lot of people carry printers and a whole bunch of other things, but if you're like us, you're gonna already have a bunch of stuff in there. So to trim down on anything makes it very useful. And you can sign your BOLs, or I'm sorry, your rate cons the same way. Yeah, the shipper does usually sign it before we leave, us too, but I guess you're saying that because of what I said about how people could forge them. I guess you could still forge a shipper signature, but either way, I figured that's why they needed them. Yeah, everything needs tarped apparently. Happy Pappy.
Everything needs tarped. Actually, I haven't had anything tarped in
not as much in the south.
About a week and a half. So I'm okay with that, more than okay with that.
If you guys are out there, too, when you're going to negotiate, ask for a tarping fee. That takes a lot of time to put it on and take it off.
Problems with brokers wanting you to haul with more experience. We are pushing our 6-month mark here soon. But, from the beginning, there's very few we've had any issues with. There's I think there's still 2 out there, but they wanted a year experience. Very few handful wanted 6 months experience.
There were several that wanted 3, but like I just talked to somebody, one of you guys maybe that's on here, I don't know about this. There was several that wanted 90 days, but it didn't hinder us at all. We just was able to find another load, and it was decent paying anyhow. So it wasn't that big. I don't believe that I don't believe that it hindered us really in any way.
No, I mean there's plenty of brokers out there that want to move freight, and that's what they're there for.
Some of the good ones that you don't need 90 days for are Mercer Transportation, TQL. They're pretty good, and you don't need 90 days for them. Landstar, I don't believe you need 90 days. So there's several out there that are pretty good size that you don't need the 90 days for.
Right. Happy Pappy. I've only gotten 1 thumbs up going through Ag Station. I had just coming through here this week, I had 2-man lifts and a boom lift on it, and he stopped me for about 5 minutes, wrote down all my information, and before he let me proceed. So only 1 thumbs up on that one.
Right. Who's next?
So we got hotel costs. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, how much are we averaging on our hotel costs? That varies too, but we're usually only gone Monday through Friday, which is 4 nights in a hotel. I like to stay around about a $300 a week average, which now it's starting to help be that way because we are part of every hotel's reward programs like Choice Hotels, IHG. We've already earned some free night stays, so that helps with the average. You also get discounted prices for being members. And one of the larger transportation companies that we have a pretty good relationship with send us their information to use to get a discount off rooms at La Quinta Inn on top of AAA and everything else. So if you do that or use credit cards with cash back to pay for your rooms, all that's going to help, and it's going to keep your average down.
And I'll be honest with you, I might be a little spoiled. That's maybe another reason I kind of like hotels. And plus, they have gyms. I love going to the gym. The back of my truck just don't really have a gym, but that's kind of the point there. But
it's a personal preference. But you can do it cheaply.
If you want to save the money and stay in the back of your truck, it's more power to you.
But you can stay in hotels and do it fairly cheaply too. Our biggest thing is just clean, and just mainly clean is the big plus for us. So you can do that. Just make sure you get in the rewards programs. Make sure you use cards with cash back, things like that. What was the next one?
Factoring company.
We don't do our own factoring yet. We still do use a factoring company because we're still new into this. We're trying to build up and save the working capital. So hopefully that's something that we will be able to transition over to doing ourselves.
One thing I like about a factoring company is if a broker don't pay, our factoring company will take care of that for us. It is a 3% charge, but at the same time, they're doing the back end work of taking care of that type of thing.
With what we make a month, I think we figured it's about $600. The 3% they take, something like that. So it seems like a lot, but that's almost like hiring an accountant, because all I do after each load is just send them the signed BOL, and they take care of everything else. They take care of all the invoicing. They take care of all the other stuff. I have enough stuff that I do on a regular basis. I couldn't imagine invoicing each and every one of these brokers that we use. We're usually like 5 loads a week. That it would just become overwhelming. But eventually we still do want to try to do away with that.
And Stu, thank you. Welcome back.
Mel, is that what it says? Mel?
Mel, yeah.
Are you hiring drivers? That's our goal. We have 2 right now. They better be watching. That we plan on hiring very soon, hopefully within the next few weeks. So we're bringing them on. We eventually want to hire more, but we need to take it kind of slow, and we don't want to add a bunch of people at once and just create chaos for everybody. Won't be good for us, won't be good for you. So we're going to get them started, and then, add more from there. And then we're going to also do a dispatch only service, but we're not going to start that until we are very comfortable with dispatching for our own guys. We're not going to make them suffer by doing dispatching for other people. So if anybody that's watching is interested, you can email us your information. We'll gladly talk with you. Ohio Hauler LLC at Gmail. But that's kind of where we're at with that right now. Happy.
Yeah, you're probably right. The Florida tags, I'm sure makes a difference there. So we've got dispatching service. I'll let you take care of that.
Do you plan on dispatching service? Yes, that's probably a little delayed. We are going to do a dispatching service, and with it, I'm not going to make anybody be just only use us. You can use us. You can use anybody else. You can find your own loads. You only pay for the loads we find you. So we plan on doing that. That will most likely be more toward the end of May. So if you're interested in that as well, get a hold of us, because I am making a list, and so I will go in the order of the list to start taking people on for that service.
We already kind of answered the factoring company. It's your personal preference. If you want that money now, and you want someone to take care of the brokers getting paid, but also at the same time, if you have the ability to wait 30 days, 35 days, whatever the broker's paying, it's your call on that one.
Yeah, I mean, if you do have the money, that's great. But I also think starting out, if you're doing this yourself and brand new, it might be helpful at least for the first couple months, just because you're already starting to get the hang of everything else.
Right.
So,
and our factory company also has a rating scale. A, B, C's, D's, and F's, and so that's another benefit of using a factoring company is they know who's legitimate and who's been in business for a while. So that kind of helps you out, make sure you're getting paid. You want to re-answer the PDF question?
PDF again, sure. So what I use is the PDF Expert app. I downloaded that to my phone and to my tablet. So when you get your paperwork emailed to you from brokers, or whether it's the carrier packet or the rate confirmation, you open it up through that PDF app. You can go through, you can type in the information, and then you can hand sign it. It saves it in that file, and then you email it back to the broker. So I never have to use a scanner, fax, printer, nothing. And then it saves it all there on the app. So if I need to go back to something and find it, it's just stored right there, all in one place. So I really like that.
For me personally, I like the shorter hauls, not 200-300 miles, like 500 miles. That's my range of where I like to be for hauls. We're down here in Florida. I would consider that a long haul.
Very long haul.
Yeah. So I personally, I like to move. I like to get load after load after load.
And we don't like messing with the really short ones, though, typically like the 100-mile, 200-mile, because you may only be getting $400. Even at $2 a mile, you may only be getting $400. Well, we all know that picking up and dropping off can take it could end up taking the whole day. So then you might lose the whole day to a short a 200-mile run and only make $400 that day, where we, like Justin said, try to stay around that 500-mile mark, so that we are usually picking up something. So here's how we usually do it. We usually bring something home with us to get us home on Fridays. We keep it over the weekend. Monday morning, it's on our truck. We take it and drop it off first thing Monday morning, and then we already have something lined up to go pick up right after that. So before noon on Monday, we've already dropped off, we've already picked up, and we're on the road again. And then all week we'll just keep dropping off, going straight to the next pickup. It's literally nonstop. Most of the time we just have that exact amount of time to get from the drop off to the next pickup, or vice versa. But it keeps us moving, and that's why we're able to turn over so many loads during the week, and that's why we're able to average about $1,000 load.
Yeah, I don't like very little downtime. Yes, I did state 28 cents per mile. That was a little speaking there. That is per Ohio is 28 cents for IFTA. That's what the question is about. Each state is different. I think Pennsylvania is almost 38 cents. Like I said, each state is different. So a little misspeaking there, but I was speaking with an Ohio there, the 28 cents per mile.
I think it was Happy Pappy that on that, if I'm correct or incorrect, Happy Pappy, let me know. But I think he's the one that went back in that video and gave us the correct information on how that works. And the way I understand it, and whoever explained this to us, that you may end up getting a refund somehow depending on your mileage. So we're still learning the IFTA thing. Next week we do plan on taking 4 days off, and we're going to work on the IFTA and some other things. So we'll do some videos. We can do another live chat during that time if you guys want, as we're doing IFTA, because it's coming due. We have to have it filed by 30th, I believe, of April, right? So, that might help some of you guys with that as we're learning. So still really new and unsure with that part of it. What, Doc Hub?
Yeah, Doc Hub.
Do I ever use Doc Hub? No. I've tried a few other ones like, I don't remember what they were now. I'd have to look at my phone, but I didn't like them as much as the PDF Expert.
Oh, real quick, Pappy said Pennsylvania is now 74 cents.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, I try to stay out of Pennsylvania and New York. They're just there's a lot to it.
Yes. Jason, do you think one could be successful with non-CDL setup, or does most of your loads? Okay, so with that, Jason and Justin, you can jump in too if you have anything to say. But we had our opinion on that we thought there's no way you can make it with non-CDL. One of our guys that we are bringing on is non-CDL. So a week or two ago, we were kind of seeing, what was out there. We paid more attention. And I think that week was one of the weeks we stayed out for the weekend. So we went 10 days, right? And every load we had during that 10 days was a non-CDL, and it paid really well. So I think it's out there, and I think that you can do well with it, but you're always going to do better, I think, in our opinion, if you have the CDL. It just puts that much less limits on you.
Right, I agree. I think each time there's a progression there to an extent of I guess CDL versus non-CDL, and I think the more you go up, like I said in one of my videos, go to a Class 6 truck with air ride in and get a 48-foot trailer, and you're going to see the most loads possible. But you work your way backward with as long as you have a truck and a trailer to an extent, non-CDL, you're going to do it.
You just got to hustle. But that's true with CDL. They're out there. They are out there. We did it. We did each of those loads that we did non-CDL still was around $2 a mile, or was $2 a mile. So you can do it. But I would suggest a CDL. It's just going to take that limitation away. Factoring company, we use RTS. We are, though, looking for another one because they do charge 3%, and we have several that are contacting us saying that they would beat that 3%. So I wouldn't say they're the best ones out there. Do your research. Talk to several. Near non-mileage drive after will be 0. If you can purchase, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, Happy Pappy. I'm in the process of looking at a transfer tank, and that way when we do go in and out of Pennsylvania, New York, alleviates that issue.
Yeah, because we do like taking the New York City loads. We've done 2 or 3 of those, two, I think. They pay really well, and if you let your brokers know that you know what you're talking about and tell them that nobody wants to go in New York City and it's expensive and I want this much more money, they'll give it up to get somebody that will actually go in there.
Yeah, Pennsylvania and New York, there's plenty of loads out there.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you're getting a better rate for those areas. Mel, are we holding any money back for taxes? We just met with the accountant a week or 2 ago. We talked to him about that. He's going to have us come back probably another month and go through what we've made so far so that he can have a better understanding to what we need to start holding back.
And yeah.
Oh, that's great. Happy Pappy, never more than $10.
New York hits you twice.
Cars.
Yeah. With your pants on.
Yeah.
But yeah, IFTA, which reminds me, still got to do our New York hut also.
Yep. And you remember that you have to have that sticker when going into New York. Don't try to go into it without a sticker or temporary pass, because they will stop you and they will ask for it, and you could get in trouble. So and if you need to go in there and you don't have the hut sticker, don't go through the companies that they try to send you to that charge like $100 to give you a temporary pass. You can go right on the Oscar site and get a temporary pass. And did it cost like $20, $10? Or
you took care of that?
It was really cheap. It was like under $10, and it was pretty quick, and it gave me something right away.
Factoring company, there is no recourse 3% is a little high comparatively, but there is no recourse on that.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it's a fairly good company.
But yeah, we are looking into a cheaper one for one reason. With what we're doing with our guys we're hiring on, that 3% is being passed on to them. So if we can get one cheaper that works for everybody, that will get passed down to them as well. For IFTA, nope. From what we understand, you don't have to have IFTA if you're non-CDL, right?
Right.
So that is a plus, but I don't think it would be enough to justify not getting a CDL. I think that's the one thing that scares people from getting the CDL. They think, oh, I have to do the IFTA tags and all these things now. But I don't think that not having it justifies it. What you're going to pay, I think in those things, you're going to make a lot more than that by having the CDL. That's what I would say.
So where are we at? Yeah, IFTA is, from my understanding, in every state, right? Happy Pappy. Happy Pappy, I think you need to just start your own page.
Yeah, Happy Pappy.
I've got so much information out of you. I think it's time for you to start your own page, and it's time for us to learn.
Yeah. We enjoy you filling us in and helping us because we're still learning too. Yeah, it's not much for a renewal for the Oscar, but for the temporary, it's $1.50. But the temporary passes is what we're talking about. If they go through, I think it was like under $10.
So, what is more important, deck space or length, payload capacity, and considering non-CDL 40? There's a lot of guys out there stand firm on their 40-foot trailer with non-CDL. In my opinion, what I am seeing is, I think load capacity versus is more important than length. I almost, with my 30-foot trailer, I almost was at 25%, maybe 20% of the loads I have to turn down versus 80% of the loads because of the weight. So in my opinion, weight is more important than length.
And I'd say if that on the 40-foot, it's very little compared to what it is. But
yeah,
I definitely agree from my experience with doing the dispatching. Weight's going to be a lot better than length every single time. And we're still able to put, even with 30-foot, we're still able to put double loads together. So, there's enough length. Just everyone. And I think what you would have for the 40-foot being non-CDL and the weight, a lot of those things, then you wouldn't be able to carry anyhow because you wouldn't be able to haul that amount of weight, if that makes sense. So
that's our personal opinion, what we're seeing. But you're right. You'll lose 1,000 pounds on that. For my trailer, if I went to a 40-foot, I'd lose almost 1,500 pounds. So that drops it dramatically. I think weight is more important than length on that.
Yep, same here. Ricky, hi there. I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah, happy. I thought there was a state out there that was didn't have IFTA, so thank you for that.
That is strange, Jimmy. You tried to get your IRP and IFTA today, and the DMV said they can't do it on a pickup. I am not sure why they would say that. Do you know?
I have no idea.
Do you have your MC and when you have to have that?
Yeah, IRP, you just have to have your registration. IFTA, you sign up for IFTA through their website. I guess we'd have to have a little bit more information on why they said they couldn't do it.
Yeah, if you want, Jimmy, if you want to email us or something, or get together and give us a little more information, we could try to help you figure that out. But IFTA was done through the website, and IRP, you had to go to a specific IRP DMV. Maybe that could be.
Maybe that's In the state of Ohio, there's only 3 IRP offices. So we had to drive a little over an hour to go to an IRP office. So that could be
Right.
why they couldn't do it.
So maybe call the IRP itself, and they'll direct you to where in your state is the IRP offices, because they are just a few. I would assume it's the same in any state, and they're the only ones that can do it.
Right.
Maximum pound trailer can hold.
Which we just we answered that. The trailer, I mean, legally I can do 17.7, I believe. Again, back to I just won't do that. It's too much for a single wheel vehicle. So that's the answers on that. I don't like to go above 16, which that's still stretching it a little bit. So that's the trailer question there.
I don't think it would matter really to go up to 17.7. We really don't pass anything up from that point. It's when you get to about 18 or more, then you start passing things up.
I agree.
There's not much difference there. And Dustin, thank you. We're trying to give good info out there. I mean, we're learning like the rest of you, but we're trying to help you guys a little bit. We didn't have a whole lot of help as we were getting started.
Yeah, and Happy Pappy, he's saying make sure you keep all your fuel receipts in each state and the miles you drive within each state. Every time you go into a state, make sure you're writing your mileage down. As soon as you enter and exit that state, write down those mileage. That's going to help you with that IFTA.
And that's one reason I put those receipts in the yellow envelopes like on my video, because then I can go back and go to each envelope and see what state, and what it's from. I'm hoping, like I said, we're working on this next week, so hopefully these things will be helpful. So we'll let you guys know how brutal this was.
So where are we at?
If you purchase fuel in each state, you pay minimum IFTA. That's good to know, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Ricky said, I have seen IFTA stickers on 1 ton hot shots.
Which, if you're talking about 1 ton, I mean, that's my F-350 is a 1 ton. Unless you mean a half ton.
Yep. I agree. Happy Pappy is street smart.
Again, Happy Pappy, it's time for a YouTube page.
Or at least a live stream, Happy Pappy. You could probably have questions asked to you all day. His 2. Also, there's only 2 IRP tags.
Okay.
That would make it rough in Florida.
Yeah, Tallahassee or Tampa. I mean, you're doing some traveling there, especially if you're down south.
John, I think our ELD is supposed to track the miles.
Yeah, I can't speak for every ELD. From my understanding, most our ELDs does track the miles. Speaking on that, toll roads, you do not have to pay IFTA on. My ELD, when I go through a toll road, I just click toll road and it'll start calculating that from the IFTA.
Yeah. And then Jimmy said, they said my title cannot say pickup, it had to say truck. What kind of truck do you have? What size of truck do you have? Were you at an actual IRP office too, Jimmy? While we're waiting for him, Happy Pappy, it's heavy. Tell the kids to get out and walk.
I've told the kids to get out and walk even when I don't have a load on there. So, I mean, that is what it is. That's
funny, though, Happy Pappy, your comment earlier on our video that they had 2 places, either in the truck or tied down to the flatbed.
Which I disagree with that, because, there's the walking option too.
Right.
Yeah, I've thought about putting them on a plane and flying them back home also. Yeah, it's funny though.
Okay, what kind of mileage do you get with a heavy load? I'll let you answer that.
It really depends. Aerodynamics plays the biggest part of this. I've had I guess crates that were 8 foot tall, and that just really drug it down. Even the weight was very, very low. I've had steel on there that was tarped that was under 16,000 pounds, and I got better gas mileage. But on average, I'm averaging about 9.2 miles per gallon.
Happy Pappy, you crack me up. Be sure in the trailer you strap each kid with 2 straps.
Actually, I think by law, they're under, 500 pounds and 5 feet, so 1 strap. One strap's all they need to hold on.
Funny, you crack me up. But yeah, back to real quick what they were asking about your miles per gallon. If you watch it, I don't know if you watched our video on what to ask brokers, but that's one reason we ask dimensions and things like that, because if we're getting something that's going to be a huge wind tunnel or tall or whatever, that's one thing that makes us decide what kind of rate to take on it.
Yeah, usually the taller stuff, it depends.
So I'm walking parking lot, and I think I'll get a room next time. Hey, I'm with you on that. Just try it out every once in a while, Don. You know, like I said, join all the rewards programs. You can choice hotels include like Days Inn. I can't remember all of them. Quality Inn, which those are all relatively cheap anyhow. If you can get a clean room at least, and then you got a bed and a hot shower, it makes a world of a difference. We all know that on the road, as tough as it is, and
Right.
sometimes it's just nice. We look forward to getting that room and just stretching your legs out. So there's ways to do it and save.
And real quick on that, remember, the bigger the city, the higher the hotel is going to be. So find a hotel before the city or after the city or around the city.
Yeah.
So that'll help you out a little bit. IRP office's truck and
is a Ram. That is so strange, Jimmy. I don't know.
New Jersey.
He's in New Jersey?
Yeah, he just answered that.
I don't know. Happy Pappy, would you have any idea why the IRP office would tell him his truck can't say pickup? Because I'm pretty sure yours does.
I couldn't tell you on that one.
So it would be on your title that's saying pickup, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you might have to go back and have that changed somehow if that's the issue. I couldn't imagine that being the issue. Maybe go to another IRP office.
Yeah, that's strange. Happy Pappy, maybe he has the answer, but I don't really know why that would be. Josh, what size tarp do you run? We have two different sizes. We have the 4-foot drop and we have a 8-foot drop. Honestly, we mainly use the 4-foot drop.
Yeah, the 4-foot drop is, I think, 85 pounds, but it's 27 feet long. That one with 8-foot drops, that is 30 foot and 120 pounds. I left that at home this week. I just hope I didn't use it. I've only used it twice. I'm with everybody else. I hate tarping.
Yeah. And we got bought a couple like more generic flat tarps that he can use in some loads, and they don't care.
Yeah, I always ask. I say, I got generic tarps. Are you okay with these? Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. They're cheap, they're inexpensive, and they weigh nothing.
Have a business. Don says you have a business card coming in with a bunch of rewards. That's the way to do it, because that adds up quick, whether you're using it on your rooms or fuel or food or whatever it is. You'll see that coming in quickly.
So Happy Pappy
says this truck.
It says truck. You might have to get a hold of the title agency then, if that's what they're showing. And I don't know if you have a lease or
if it's a new truck or
if it's a new truck, you might have to have them change out the truck.
And the IRP said my dually was a truck, not a tractor. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a tractor. It has to be a truck, because he's saying it's not a pickup.
Yeah. Dustin, do you weigh the load? How do you know the shipper provided accurate weight? Seems the carrier could be easily deceived. Yes, you can. I don't know if you watched all of our videos, but we ran into that several times. One was just last week. We try to weigh them, but the majority of the time we don't. Maybe 50-50. But Justin is able to tell, usually.
Yeah, I've come comfortable with knowing what my trailer and truck can do and what it looks like. We had one load in Mississippi. It was only supposed to be 6,000, 7,000 pounds total. I think there was 5 crates. I had him put the biggest crate on the front just because I was picking up another partial. And as soon as he put that weight on there, I mean, the trailer and truck just, it really lowered to the ground. And I said, I guarantee this is more than what you're saying. So I had to move it to the back end. It
Ended up being 3,200
It
pounds
was,
more.
it was over 3,000 pounds more. The best thing to do, find a CAT scale. There's a CAT scale app also that you can download for your phone. Find the nearest CAT scale and go weigh them every time.
And if you're overloaded, but you're not illegally overloaded, stop and call the broker and demand more money. We did that both times. We did that with this one he's talking about from Mississippi. After we got on the CAT scale, got it weighed, we sent him the ticket. We said, we're not moving until you pay us more, because this is not what we signed a Raycon for. It's going to take more gas, whatever. So they ended up sending us more money. I can't remember how much it was, like $400 or something.
Yeah,
and
just work these brokers. It's a lot of times it's not the broker's fault. It's the shippers. They're just trying to move more freight for the bottom, cheapest rate possible.
But still, in the long run, we still deserve more. So we always ask for more. Same thing was last week. It ended up being over by several thousand pounds, and called and told him he wanted more money, and they got the Raycon. And so,
it's not our fault. We're just there to do a job. And if your BOL says 10,000 pounds and they're trying to put more on there, I'm not an attorney on this, but in my opinion, it's a legal binding contract that says 10,000 pounds.
Right.
So
ELD stopped working after first load, so I had to use paper logs only, and it did
more stress at weigh station. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Don, what is your ELD provider? I'd like to know that.
Truck is cheaper to tag than a tractor is. I can understand why that. Happy Pappy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just a weight issue alone.
Yeah, Jimmy, I would try to get that title change. If they're giving you a hard time about that, that's probably the only way that you're going to be able to do it, or try going to a different IRP office. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if they're saying it has to be title, or title is a truck, I think that might be your best option there, is get it retitled.
Don, they call your Ram 3500 a tractor? See, this is what's crazy. It seems like there's no consistency whatsoever. We could probably take your same truck, Jimmy, to IRP office, and they'd be fine with it. It just seems like in this business, nothing is consistent. Nobody has the same answers, and that's when it starts becoming overwhelming and confusing. And that's one reason we want to do these videos, because there's just so many conflicting answers out there, and we're trying our hardest after we learn and research to put out what we find, in our opinion, seems to be the correct answer. But we always encourage people to do some researching yourself. Title change. What ELD do you use?
I use Trucker's Path. It always gives me a malfunction issue for some reason, but it don't malfunction itself. So that's kind of annoying. But other than that, I really haven't had any issues with it. And they've recently updated it and made it more user friendly. So Trucker Path, I have nothing else to compare to, but so far it hasn't really had any issues with that.
Right. Happy Pappy. Thankfully, we've never had to go back and had them take anything off. And that's another reason for you guys to ask how much weight we can haul, which is 17.7, and we never go up that much. You need to leave yourself a buffer room. Even when you get multiples, leave yourself a buffer room, because they're always, I don't know how many that we hauled that was exactly what they're said. I mean, they may be 500, a few hundred more. So you don't want to max it out to the exact max you can have on there, in my opinion, because then you're just setting yourself up for, having issues there.
Right. John Wolf, how you doing? I see you started a message there. Yeah, Happy Pappies. If your ELD malfunctions, be sure to denote it. It's a violation if you don't do so.
Down you're in Indianapolis. Trucker. That's what you have.
Right.
Yeah. Hello, Aunt. Does it say Ant Mountain?
Ant Mountain Logistics.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Retention pay. Have you all had to ask for it on Raycon? We've never waited anywhere that long except one instance, and it was, well, that broker was being pretty deceiving to begin with. We picked up some sort of equipment at a United Rentals.
Yeah, it was in Pennsylvania, going from one United rental to another United rental. But the drop-off location was in the middle. For some reason, it was in the middle of it was being built
Gas plant.
gas plant, and so we had to wait. I waited about an hour. We called the broker, and the broker said we'd get detention pay. So they,
and then the guys there at the site also said, write down whatever, we'll make sure you get paid. Just, and they even signed our time in and out. We went back to the broker, asked them about it, and they said, oh no, you wasn't there long enough. And we said, well, the guys there at United Rental said that we'll get it, just to make sure to back bill it. And he pretty much refused and said, no, they can't do that. So
right.
I'm not really familiar with how it works. It was a battle that we just didn't want to really fight.
Yeah,
so
I guess for me, I'm kind of a little impatient. If I start waiting too long, I start picking up the phone, I start calling people, or I start, I start pushing people to get this load off. I've told people before that, I don't really like being like this, but sometimes I have to be that. If you don't get that load off, I will get that load off. So I just, I try to be kind and courteous, but at the same time, if they're jerking my chain, then I start pushing them to make sure they get that load off. So I don't, we don't have to worry about detention pace too much sometimes. Sometimes I guess you have to be firm is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, especially when you're running like we do, where you're going from one to the next and the other, you don't have time to mess around for people. And we always make sure when you're taking certain things that like had to be forklifted on equipment or whatever, we're asking our broker and saying, now they're going to have the right equipment to take this off when we get there, right? And because we've had a few instances like that where we got somewhere and they had no way to get it off, and then it was just a mess. And so we always make sure in that.
So Happy Pappy saying full tank of gas and put you over on weight.
Mm-hmm.
So what I recommend with that is be fully have all your equipment full of gas, full of DEF, and when you're running empty, go weigh yourself. That way you know exactly your baseline of what your weight is. Go to a CAT scale and weigh yourself.
And save that ticket, so then that way the next time when you put the load on, you shows that the load is over what it's supposed to be. You'll have your empty ticket to show to help prove your point there. Do you or Happy Pappy have recommendation for dispatcher? I don't know what Happy Pappy has to say, but I don't know Jimmy.
He does his own. Happy Pappy does his own.
Yeah, we do our own, but I don't know if you heard earlier in this or not. We're starting a dispatch service. We're getting our guys started here soon, and then we'll be starting dispatching. I found it's something I really like to do, and it's really easy, and I've been able to keep us very busy. And so if you're interested in that, Jimmy, you can email us, pilehaulerllc@gmail.com, and we can talk more about it.
Have you ever received a fuel surcharge? I think
yes.
One of the
Mercer
into that. Yes.
I deal with all the Raycons. That's why Justin's not really familiar with it. Mercer, I'd say Mercer Transportation, 99% of the time their loads have fuel surcharges. They're a really good company to get with and run with. We've never had any problems. We got a great connection there. Josh. So you can reach out to him, and he helps you out quite a bit. I know you do, but starting out, I think I wanted a little help, but I know Jimmy, I agree with you. Bad dispatcher can definitely sink you. I would suggest in the beginning, have a dispatcher helping you out and get one that's not going to make you be solely with them. And you can also on your own time be searching for loads, and then you find stuff, then you're not going to pay your dispatcher. That's what we're going to do. So if it's something that you are interested in with me or anybody else, find one that you're only paying for the loads that they're booking you. And, if you get somebody to help you with like that for the first couple months, you'll get the hang of how to do that. I've got to the point where I'm able to just go down through the load boards quickly and pick out the loads and see which one's going to be the one that goes quick and get on the phone. I know what to ask. I know how to take it quickly. You'll also be able to start, in your mind figuring out what it is a mile, what you need to ask as soon as you call them. You'll just learn how to do those sort of things and how to space out when you say you're going to pick something up and drop something off. So you'll get the hang of it. If it's something you want to ultimately do on your own, I think that's great. So getting help in the beginning is also a good idea.
Having an extra set of eyes on those boards, while we're out there driving, having a dispatcher, here's my dispatcher, having that extra set of eyes, she can see those loads as soon as they come up. The good paying loads, they go quick. So when you have someone else watching those boards for you that, have your best interest at heart, they're going to help you out. They're going to help you make more money. You're going to run less mileage.
They're going to make sure you get the best rate.
Make sure you get the best rate and make sure that the logistics of everything is done correctly.
Yeah. And you really do. I'm on there all day and I'm hitting refresh to catch those loads. And you need to, if you found the load that you're going to take today, you're going to drop it off tomorrow, say in Elena, Georgia, even though you just picked the other load up, start looking for your next load to pick up where you're dropping off, like Elena, Georgia. If that's where you're dropping off, be ready and looking for that next load and posting your truck there. So that way you're dropping off, you're picking up, you're looking for your next load. So that keeps you moving. So you're not sitting in a parking lot or somewhere else for hours trying to figure out where you're going next, because time is money, and that will help you turn more loads during the week by keeping one trip ahead.
Right. Fuel cards, RTS, our factoring company, hooked us up with Pilots and Flying J's for a fuel card. I think we get a 12-cent discount or something like that. I'm not a big fan of Pilots and Flying J's just because I'm always in a hurry. So we got another fuel card. Is it Fuel Man? What's the fuel card?
Comdata. You can use anywhere. Real quick, if anybody does want to pilot one, if we refer you, you get like $100 credit, and we get $100 credit. So, get a hold of us and we'll tell you how to do that. Both can get some credit for that. But Comdata you can use anywhere where MasterCard is accepted. I don't think you get as many cents back, but if you're in a hurry and don't want to sit in the pilot lines forever, you can do that.
Don had 4 guys unload his load, took about an hour. Again, kind of the impatient thing. I find myself jumping in and helping. I done that especially with the wood load we took from Tennessee. Hardwood floors, and the skid loader they had wouldn't lift it, so they were hand doing it piece by piece. And so I jumped in, just one example, and started helping them out just so I could get moving.
They were making us late to a drop off at a military base, so we had no time to wait. And that's what I mean. Some of these people don't have the right equipment when you're dropping off.
Yeah, the backseat
Have you been
riders. Is that where you're going now?
Took a load to Georgia. There's a job for the
backseat riders.
That's a good job for them.
I thought their job was to complain. But.
Yeah. And have you been working on your business credit? It's something that I have been working on for a little while now. Yeah, we're trying to work on that. And there's one, I think it's Fuel Man maybe out there. Yeah. They report to business credit. I'm going to try to start with like a small, maybe Capital One Spark card for our business, because it is hard being new, but we want to build on that because we're growing the company. We want to build on our business credit. What's your wife set up while you're
Wi-Fi?
Oh, not wife. Florida sun, telling you, fry my brain. Is there certain things to get?
Run along.
Wi-Fi set up while you're in your truck. We don't have Wi-Fi set up. Is that what you mean?
No, my truck does have Wi-Fi, but we just use our. We got Verizon. We just use our Verizon network.
We got the unlimited plan, so we can use as much as we want. And What else did he say?
It's a certain thing to get.
No. Do non-CDLs have to do IRP? No, right? IRP tags, they don't have to, non-CDL don't have to, I don't think.
These questions are frying my brain.
I think we already answered that, but now that's making me confused. I don't believe they do. Happy Pappy, you can chime in on that one. I know you know the answer, but no, I don't believe they do. Exactly what I'm looking, interest help.
So I get the hang of it. Learning curve.
My wife learning and doing it. Yeah, Jimmy, that sounds like a great idea. And like I said, if you want us, since you're not looking for somebody really to do this full time, you're just wanting somebody to help you learn. It's something that I could start helping you with sooner than what I planned on doing. Some of this dispatching service. And like I said, just be something that you pay for the loads. I do find you, but I could also help direct you or your wife or whoever on where I'm looking and how to do it. Because even though that's what our business is, we want to grow our dispatch service. I also want to encourage people that can do it to do it themselves, because nobody's going to have their best interests in heart than you or your wife or your family members. So I have absolutely no problem helping you guys and, taking on as a dispatch service, but with the ultimate goal of you guys learning and going out on your own. I'm fine with that. We're pretty flexible. That's one reason we're doing this. We want to help people,
That was the biggest reason for me doing this channel. There's just a lot of information out there that I was not finding. So when I found it, I wanted to put it out there to help other people with this channel.
Yeah, and by doing that, I can help direct you and show you how to, keep moving and find those loads and where to post your truck and stuff like that. So definitely reach out to me. We can see if you're interested and see what we can come up with. Don, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, please. That was our technical difficulties. Apparently, if you don't have 1,000 subscribers, we can't go do it the correct way through YouTube. We had to go through the laptop camera, so that could be one reason it's all grainy and not all the great quality. So come on, we're getting them and we're growing. But
yeah, we were growing about 100 per week, and the past couple of days it really increased, and today we subscribes just kind of stopped. So just put the word out there and make sure you're liking and subscribing.
Credentials get on a military base. You have to be able to pass the background check, and most of them then just want your driver's license, your truck registration, and
no felonies.
Yeah, you can't have any felonies. Some of them do want the TWIC card. We haven't went to one that wants that, but we just had to go out there. They run a background check. Wasn't that big a deal. Military loads usually pay really well too. Pilot, what does it say? Aunt said pilot.
Oh, they report to the Duns and Broadshire.
Oh, do they? I didn't know that. That's good to know. What Happy Pappy say?
He thinks no, back to the IRP for the non-CDL, which I thought so.
Yeah, that's what I think too. What does it say?
For the most part, you guys try to get home weekly.
Yes, we usually do. There's been a couple weekends lately we didn't. It was more our because we chose to not get home. But out of our, how many weeks? 14. Out of all those weeks, 14 weeks, 2 weekends, we haven't got home. And that was because we were already out there. We came across loads that was going to pay really well and keep us moving. So we decided to keep moving and got home midweek, like Wednesday, and that gave us a few days at home with our kids for their school functions and stuff. But it's been very easy otherwise to go out on Mondays, come back on Fridays, and bring a load home every Friday. I think once we've come home without a load. Like, we've always had a load to pay us to get home.
Unless we come home midweek.
Yeah, but we usually get a load to pay us to get home where we drop off.
Oh, to get home. I see what you're saying. I'm over here daydreaming.
We always get a load. And that's another thing. Try to find loads to get you home if you're going home. And on those, we'll compromise on prices a little bit. We like to stay at $2 a mile, but if we can get some to get us home for $1.50, $1.40, whatever, that's getting you home, and you're not empty, and you're paying for your fuel, and you're paying for your expenses.
Do you guys get loads directly from brokers, shippers, not from load boards? The answer is yes. We've been out here for a short time, but we've already made a lot of good connections where these brokers are calling us back and saying, we like what you did. The biggest thing was communication. Since Carrie rides with me, she's always, we picked up the load, we dropped off the load and given them
Constant updates.
constant updates.
They like that. So if you're like, we're on the road again, we plan on being here, we're on site now, we're loaded now, I'll update you when we get there, we're here, we're unloaded, here's the BOL, send it to them right away. They like that. I've had several compliments of people saying, we just don't have people that do that. So that helps. And so now, like Justin said, we've created a lot of contacts. Just had one of the brokers call in last week and said, I got another one of those loads I sent you guys to Tennessee on. Do you want it? And unfortunately, we couldn't take it. So by doing that, you do build good relationships. Then they will call you and give you the good loads before they're even posted on the board. So that's been really nice.
Right.
And we've made other contacts with people where we picked up loads that keep us in mind for just calling us directly. Jimmy, I think.
Yeah. Should be up with you next month. So you should be
Great,
up and running
Jimmy.
next month.
Yeah, get a hold of me, and we can, even talk on the phone or do a FaceTime or something. We can talk about where you want to go. If you want a little help in the beginning, if you don't, you just need a few pointers. Be glad to help you on that as well. Like we said over and over, there's just so much out there to learn. If we, can help anybody in any way, we're willing to do it and help take a little bit of stress off your shoulders.
KindMaster to edit and upload YouTube. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that. I started doing all the YouTube videos at the beginning. You can see they wasn't very well put together, so I finally was able to talk Carrie into it. So she can look into that to do the editing and uploading of YouTube videos.
Yeah, I want to look. We're looking, and we're actually going to try to get some better camera set up and editing tools and all these things. We're only at 300 and some subscribers, but it seems to be growing. We're surprised we even got that far. So now I guess it's time to look into some better quality cameras and setup and editing tools and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But I will keep that in mind.
So Happy Pappy, they only want driver's license, registration, proof of insurance. All I say is Happy Pappy. You must be a happy guy with a happy smile, because it seems like everybody leaves you alone.
Really? Is that why you're Happy Pappy?
Happy Pappy.
Robert said, what class of license endorsements
do you like the unit of your? Do you need for a unit like yours?
So what do you have for what we have?
Right, I have a CDL. It's got the restrictions of no manual transmission, no air brakes, no tractor trailer. So a unit like yours, yeah, I need I guess that's what you're asking. I need a CDL for my trailer that I haul because it's over 10,001 pounds.
Aunt said, should I get an air ride trailer or go with the standard suspension? What about my ramps versus? Okay, when it comes to the air ride, our main opinion is no. I think on that you don't need it. If you're in the north, it's going to have problems with freezing up. We haven't missed out on hardly any loads because of it. But if you watch our I'm Right, You Were Wrong video, it also kind of clears it up. It's based on different parts of the country is what I'm seeing. But overall, I don't think it's worth it. And what about I don't know what he's talking about with the ramps.
Mega ramps versus dovetail. I was running this question through my head earlier because I don't know the weight difference. Hydraulic versus mega ramps. I'm assuming hydraulic dovetail weighs more. So, obviously the more weight you can save, the more you put on your trailer. Mega ramps, it's not that big of a deal. The only issue I had was we picked up a load as a partial, and we picked up a truck. And I had to drive the truck over top of the mega ramps. I had to back it up over the mega ramps and put the partial up front. Luckily, the part of the truck that we were picking up was a friend's, and he was able to find someone with a forklift to move the stuff for me. Yeah, that was the only instance that a dovetail would have been great,
But I think ramps in general are just a plus.
but definitely ramps on that.
Yeah, we haul a lot of equipment, boom lifts, forklifts, scissor lifts, a lot of equipment, tractors, and they pay really well. And Justin likes them because it's just pretty much chains and you're good.
The AK laying on the dash.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Happy Pappy.
I don't know.
We have to meet sometime, Happy Pappy. You just intrigue me.
I want to see the AK.
Yeah, really. You're a very intriguing guy, Happy Pappy. Yeah, Pappy, that's funny. Extra toys are nice. Air ride. I agree. Air ride, it's just one more thing to break.
Yeah, the same for the dovetail. Obviously, you got hydraulics. You got some issues back there, and it don't work, then your trailer's broke. As opposed to a manual setup like a Mega Ramps. But again, it's your preference and where you're going to be running, so that's your call on that.
And you said you're in Mississippi. I don't remember. We've spent some time in Mississippi and Alabama lately, and I don't remember passing up many air ride loads in those areas. We hauled a lot of equipment in the Alabama, Georgia, like the southern area. A lot of equipment from auctions and stuff like that. That was all paying well, but I don't remember in that area really passing up much for air ride.
No, there's so many. I mean, there's so many loads out there that don't need air ride. And from my understanding, what we're seeing is usually if they ask for air ride, they're wanting a semi anyways. Have back up to a loading dock. Yes, that's one important thing you need to ask the brokers when you're talking to the brokers. You got to tell them trailer is not dock height. We haven't turned down from loads because we haven't been dock height.
Yeah, there's a few. A lot of them will put them in the description on the load board, like must be dock height. So there's been a few that's limited us, but I've always asked, no matter what, we're hot shot. This is what we have. Is this going to work? So we don't want to get there and waste everybody's time. You know this.
And the reason for being dock heights, because usually they want to drive a forklift onto your trailer, which I don't understand why they just just come out and unload it for me. That's my opinion. ELD, we use Trucker's Path. Yeah, on Truck and Travel, I agree. They seem like they had a lot of air ride issues.
I actually think they're located in Ohio, from my understanding, not far from where we are. So yeah, it's just one more issue or problem to have.
So where are we at?
Yep. Yeah, I think they're not far from us, actually.
Rebuild diesel to a hobby. Yeah, that sounds fun. If you want to come delete my truck, I'm okay with that.
A little west. Are you talking about Truck and Travel Happy Pappy? I think they are a little to the west of us. So you do like it, Don? You like your air ride trailer?
Yeah, from my understanding, they ride smoother, and you can lift up one of the axles. It's one of those things. If it breaks down, then you're struggling to fix it. And especially in Northern Ohio, those things are going to freeze all the time.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you're at, Don. I don't know if you told us or not, but up in Northern Ohio, it probably wouldn't be a great idea. But again, a lot of these things are just preference, and we like to just put our opinion out there and what we see, and then we always encourage people to do the research and make the decision based on what they think is best for them in their area.
Ask him in November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you may have some of the same issues too.
Which
But
I know you can put alcohol in them to help keep them from freezing, but sometimes it don't help.
I think Ant's talking about deleting your. I have no idea about that.
Yeah, I know EPA's cracking down on it. In the state of Ohio, I can legally delete it, but there is a discussion out there that Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration can fail you on your DOT inspection if you are deleted. So that's something I have to look into. I guess it's still under warranty, so maybe I'll just keep it under warranty for now.
That's another year. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely bleed the water out of it, same as a semi. Do those have spitter valves on them, the air ride? I'm not sure. Have you lost any loads due to the length of your trailer? Yeah, of course we lost loads due to length, but we had this discussion a little bit ago. I think it's more important to have weight over length. We've gotten more loads for weight over length.
That we've lost, yeah.
So that's my answer to that.
But anytime that we've come across one we call and it needs 40 foot or something, we go right back on the boards and we find something almost immediately. So none of these things, whether it's our weight that we can carry, the length of our trailer, any of those things have, or when we were new, none of those things had really hindered us to the point to where, you know, we sat idle and didn't have anything to do. There's always more loads out there.
No, Derek put a spitter valve on it.
Loads, and then don't mess with it while it's under warranty. No, you didn't plan on doing that.
No, I mean it would be nice.
Jimmy, what weight are we registered at? 34,000?
Yeah, I am registered at 34,000. That's just I like having a little bit of buffer room on that.
So, and they don't have air dryer prepaid and what I just
Air dryer in the system.
Oh my goodness.
That's why they freeze up.
I'm trying to read two different things and
No,
put them together.
Yeah, I mean these air rides, some of them
Okay.
can have air dryers in them to help clean out the moisture.
Dustin said, "Do you use a hotspot for internet connection in the truck? Considering Verizon prepaid unlimited $65 a month." I just use my phone and tablet to find the loads, and we have a Verizon monthly plan, so it's not prepaid, and I think it's $40 for my line for the unlimited gigabytes. So and I don't really have a problem with it being too slow or anything, unless we're in the mountains.
Yeah, my truck does have Wi-Fi, but if we have unlimited, I just don't use it.
I'll see, Don, I bought mine because we have some military bases here and around close to Indianapolis. Yeah, I've seen a few military loads, I think, that asked for air ride. We've taken some and they didn't need it, so yeah.
That is your personal preference. There's also the issue of price. Air ride's more pricey than obviously conventional trailer, but I mean that's really your call. Ace transmission, thinking about getting a G with 17. Amp mount, is it a dually? I'm assuming if you're wanting to pull it with a 25G in, it's a dually.
You see the one that says oh yeah, he did say ring, but it didn't say whether it's a dually or not.
Yeah. Definitely with a dually, I suggest getting a 40 foot, 25G in. I'm assuming you'll be able to pull at least 20,000 with that. They're going to request air ride because of all electronics.
Yeah, the things we took was not electronics, but I can see why when it's something like that they would request air ride. Makes sense for the What does that say?
For the 64 RTE. I guess I don't really follow you on that. I think he asked the question about what my truck and
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm registered to, which I answered that a few times. It is a lot of weight.
It was just better to be safe than sorry and have it a little couple thousand more. Like originally we were going to do 32,000, but you know we didn't want to ever have that problem of being over. And Aunt Mound said he does have a dually.
Yeah. I personally, I'm a little biased here on Dodge versus Ford. That's why I drive a Ford. They have had, Chrysler's just had transmission problems with Rams, since their conception. And for some reason, after all these years, they still have that. But the Asian transmission is supposed to be a great transmission. But still, I think you still have a good truck.
Yeah, I mean, if we would go any other way, that would probably be the way we go. I try to buy from Tex, I think it is, but they would never respond, so went with Load Trail. Yeah, Justin hasn't been too happy with Big Tex in general.
Yeah, I've had a lot of issues with my Big Tex. One of the biggest issues is it actually dog tracks a little bit. So I don't know. I went out and measured it for the alignment, and the measurements are on spec. So I don't really know why it dogs tracks. Electrical issues, connector issues. You see one of the last videos Carrie just posted. I'm repairing one of the lights on Big Tex.
He plans on Aunt Mound plans on registering at 40,000. That sounds. You'll be at a good place with that.
Oh, the 64 RFE is light, medium, trans. I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm keeping. 34 isn't what Ford recommends that for that truck, but it's about 30,000 what Ford recommends, and that's where I like to keep it, if possible. Obviously under. That's what Ford specs are for a single wheel with a 355 rear end.
Like we said, we just liked having that buffer there because now we have had two loads that are over 3,000 pounds more than what they said. And if we would have registered it at 30 or 32, we could have got down the road and been in trouble. So it's just better to have that buffer there so there's no issues. Dustin, I don't know what is that still a transmission? That's
the ASIN. Yeah, we're still talking about.
I have no idea about transmissions.
Yes, heavier weights.
Do you have a plan on when to trade the truck in or add one? Don wants to know.
I do wish I would have went with a dually. But right now, it was just a starting platform where we're at. I'm probably going to use it for the lifetime of the truck. I got a 200,000 mile warranty on it. So that's probably where I'll run it to.
We have looked at, though, if we went with anything else, we kind of like those. What are the freight?
The Freightliners, the heavy duty. I think they're Class 6 trucks.
Just saw one of those for sale, and I think if we ever got anything else, I'd get something like that. But with adding the guys that we're adding, we are going to stay on the road for a while because we want to keep gaining knowledge, and that just helps us be better at dispatching for them and understanding the struggles out here. But eventually we'll come in off the road and not go out as much too. So, that will pull back on the mileage that we have on that.
Ford's turbos and transmissions stay the same in 2011 F450s. Yeah, they're pretty consistent with that.
Load boards we use the most. John, the two that I use the most are DAT and Truck Stop. Those are the two that I use the most. I tried 123 load board and I hate it and I'm getting ready to cancel it. But don't forget to also check each individual broker's boards. Like Mercer has somewhere where you can go look on their boards, C.H. Robinson. So some of those you can go look directly on their boards, and a lot of times it's stuff that hasn't been put on the other board yet.
Real quick, Happy Pappy, I think I'm wondering if he is a truck driver and just not a comedian out there. These doggy prints on the road. Dog tracks. You see a vehicle sometimes they'll kind of go sideways a little bit. They're not perfectly centered up. If you ever watch a dog run, one side of the dog will actually the back end of the dog actually turns to one side or the other. So that's what dog tracking is. It's not perfectly centered. The wheels don't line up. My trailer, if you look at it when I'm going down the road, it actually leans into the left a little bit.
Let's see. Happy Pappy leaves doggy prints. Funny. Do you plan on getting more truck and trailer? Is your wife going to start driving? Yeah, we're contemplating having me get my permit. I don't know how much I'll actually drive, but it would be nice to have that option because there's a lot of times we'll get like within an hour or two from our final destination and he'll run out of time and we have to stop. So in those instances, it'd be very nice. So that's something that we're thinking about doing. Plan on getting more trucks and trailers. Don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's still in the future there on that end. If so, it's just going to be buy some trucks and trailer and just lease them out.
Yeah, I mean, we have plans to keep growing this, but as of right now, our plans are to stay on the road, keep learning, add some drivers, and add some dispatching, and go from there.
So we got Top Hat makes a great trailer.
Jimmy, yeah. Pappy's funny.
Yeah.
Tandems. I don't know anything about trailers either.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm probably gonna just use this trailer until I can't use it anymore. Then I'm actually gonna search out something better. I'll look into Top Hat when the time comes.
Jimmy, you can't team drive in a hot shot. So we asked during one of our inspections how that would work. We asked about that, and what we were told was if he moves over to the other seat and he's not on duty, not doing paperwork, not doing anything like that, then I can drive. That's what we were told. But everything's out there. But then I was also told that I wouldn't need a CDL to drive our truck and trailer empty. But then another guy said I would. So, but we've had two that said that I could drive
without
while you are driving or while you are resting in the seat, but to never log him in on sleeper cab or whatever.
Sleeper berth.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of confusion out there. A lot of this ruling gets handed down from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and then it goes to the states. Then the states add their own laws and restrictions, which makes it more confusing. So that's why there's so many conflicting answers out there on just stuff like that. Yes, I do have my CDL.
I don't know anything about the exhaust. That's your kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. If you delete your exhaust, you'll fail a DOT inspection. The question is, can I make an exhaust that looks like the DEF filter?
Jimmy, again, no consistency in answers.
Yeah, you're right. There is no consistencies.
We're with you on that. That's why, like the CDL thing went back and forth. We actually had a trooper when we first got started tell Justin he didn't need a CDL. And then somebody told him he did, back and forth, back and forth. So he actually just went to the training or the testing center.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and there's so much conflicting answers out there too. If I need a CDL, so I said, I just got to get it straight from the answer straight from the mouth of the people doing it. So I called the CDL department and got the answer from there.
But that is why. I mean, it's confusing. There's no consistency. You even see some people out here on YouTube telling you do one thing, the next time you do something else. And, it's just too much confusion. So that's why we're just trying to come out here, do it, tell you what we've seen, what we've done. And then, again, you guys, go with what you feel like you should do. Did you answer the running dog leg?
That's back to running dog leg. Yeah, it's dog tracking. Same
was the other one you already
have your hubby as a trainer?
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see how well that goes. Hard Rock T said if you delete it, you should be okay. I can't speak for Hard Rock. Again, this is I am not 100% confirmed on that answer, but they are pretty strict on deleting that stuff. So I can't really for sure answer that question.
Find or no, that's not what we were told, right? It's because your trailer's GVW.
Because the trailer is over 10,001, especially in the state of Ohio, I need my CDL. There's some states, which I think someone just did a YouTube video on California, and I know Tennessee also. If your truck is over 10,001 pounds and your commercial vehicle, you have to have a CDL. So again, I mean, it starts at the federal level, and then it gets handed down to each state, and each state distributes it and adds their own requirements for CDL. Again, that's another reason it's so confusing.
The CDL thing too, we were inspecting 3 different states, and all DOT officers did agree that since your trailer was over the 10,000 GVW, that you did have to have a CDL, even if it's empty and nothing on it.
Right.
Aunt Mound. Oh, thank you. We're just trying to, like I said, we started this and we were so confused and went on our first trip, and I was just a nervous wreck. We had no idea where the BOL came from. We had no idea what we did next, how to strap. It was just so much to it that that's why we thought we're going to do this and try to help ease people into this, because we're big into people helping people follow their dreams, and sometimes just people not knowing or being a little hesitant because there's so much out there that holds them back. So if we can help in any way, that's kind of our ultimate goal.
So how's business so far since we started? Business has been great.
Yeah.
Back to, we made a lot of contacts with brokers and shippers, and we're constantly busy. Again, Carrie's the set of eyes that I need on the load boards while I'm driving. As soon as those loads are available, she's calling and talking to the broker. So it's making this business move very well.
I mean, it's not uncommon that we're averaging 10 loads a week, or 5, sorry, not 10, my mind. 5, 4.5 to 5 loads a week. And they're good paying loads. So we're doing really well. We wasn't sure what to expect, but it does take a lot of hustling, and it takes a lot of staying on those load boards and moving. Like, you can't just dilly-dally around. You got to keep moving, and it's the only way you're going to turn those
right.
loads.
I said earlier, I'm impatient. I don't like to sit around for loads. So that in some ways my impatience, I think, helps.
Mm-hmm. Back to the.
So out west, New York, watch out if you're deleted. Yeah, they're especially California. They're very strict on their regulations. Where can you find out for your sure? Mine is deleted now. So to answer any questions, if you have any confusing questions and you're not finding the right answer, call your local. Each state has a local Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration center. Call them and ask them. That's the simplest and best way to get your answers. I could give you my opinion, and 5 other guys can give you their opinion. Just go straight to the source and call your local state.
I agree.
That ruling is for Ohio. FMCSA is also above.
So that's another reason we encourage to go to your own state and ask questions, because it's so confusing.
Each state is so different.
And they can avoid warranty, I think, if
definitely. If I do that before to avoid my warranty. So if I want to take that loss of losing a warranty, I mean, it's.
And Todd, Truck and Travel is from Ohio. Yeah, I think they're not far from where we live, from our understanding. And they haven't posted in a week or so. Hope all is well. I was wondering the same thing. I follow them on Facebook and YouTube, and I was hoping all was well with them as well. Nope. We got our first load, the first Somebody asked, did you have a hard time getting your first load with your new authority? No, that first Monday we got up and we called, and the first one we did call, they wanted you to be 6 months. BMAC.
BMAC, yeah, that was 6 months, but then we moved right down the list.
And went straight to Mercer, which was a blessing because they have been amazing ever since. And Josh is a contact there, and if any of you want his information, get a hold of me. I'll give it to you. He's great about getting you in there and letting you know when those come up. But anyhow, no, right when we called them, they found us something and we got going. So we really haven't had any problem. Aunt says, I'm hopeful that we'll start running in the next 2 months. I'm in the process of retiring from the military. That's what has been holding me back because I want 100 miles away from my home. Well, first of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you, absolutely.
We really do appreciate that. I have 2 brothers that were in the military myself, and I mean, the sacrifice that you guys give is amazing. So thank you. And I'm hoping you get up and running too. If there's again anything we can do to help you with that. Sally Stubbs, thank you for doing the live. We really appreciate it, and thank you for sharing the knowledge and experience. You're welcome. We had contemplated doing this for a long time, but we're honestly surprised that anybody's watching our videos. We didn't think anybody would have any desire to watch us, so we didn't know anybody would even want to come to a live event. So since we know you guys do, we'll try to do them more often. And maybe next week, like I said, we're going to be home taking care of some of the business side of it, like IFTA and some of those things. So maybe we can do another live and give you some more information after we kind of figure all that out as well.
Happy Pappy. Yeah, it's just there's so much confusion out there. If we're legal or not. So yeah, back to just call your local state and just have them clear that up for you.
We've had the DOT inspection or the officers, state troopers and stuff tell us themselves that this is too confusing for them and they don't know all the answers, and they've even told us that they may tell us something's okay and that the next one won't. So it's just confusing. We just try to make sure everything's covered.
Yeah, we try our best. I got stopped in Tennessee. State trooper pulled me over for a DOT inspection. He was drilling me on some of these questions. I said, how much training have you had? He said he had a whole month of training. I said, how much training do you think I had before I got out here? And, we got to the conversation, and he said, this for us with a month of training is very confusing. So, I mean, that we get very little training, and our knowledge is calling the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, asking questions, and reading through the material.
Yeah. And with your DOT inspections, I think I touched on this before, but get a little binder, the kinds with the little plastic sleeves, and keep all your information in there, your truck registration, your health card, all the stuff that they're going to ask you when they pull you over, and hand that whole binder to them. And I tell you what, it changes the entire inspection. They just get a new appreciation for you. They said they're thankful they're not having to wait while you dig through stuff and get them all the paperwork. So that is a little tip, I guess. Yeah, I think they do have a live channel now too. I'm not really sure. Local, where do we buy our tarp straps? Best deals and equipment. Any recommendations? Our tarps came from my T-Tarps, right?
Well, one came out of it's Toledo Tarps.
Oh yeah,
obviously in Toledo, Ohio. That was a pretty good tarp. Then Mighty, I think they're a little bit bigger company. You can get those off Amazon, also off their website. Menards. I buy all my straps from Menards. I like chains also, chains and binders.
I got the edge protectors, the plastic and metal ones from Amazon. So yeah, just kind of look around and you can find the different deals on things and best deals on equipment. Any recommendations? I kind of went over that, but Justin does have equipment video if you're looking to see what maybe you should carry.
Check out my equipment video. I showed a whole bunch of equipment that was kind of unnecessary, but there's a lot of equipment in there that is necessary that was recommended.
Yeah, and again, we agree with a lot of great information out there, but there is a lot, and like I said, there's some that do channels that their own channels are contradicting themselves on their videos or the next ones or whatever. So I think the best thing to do is to be part of these channels, take that information, do your own research, and figure out what fits for you, your area, and what you're ultimately wanting to do.
Right. Happy Pappy. I use Truck and Tow. I've looked into them.
Do I have a template for my binder? What's that mean?
I guess he's just asking
What I put in it?
what you put in it.
So people have asked me a lot for that, so maybe one day I could do a quick video, or the next time I do a live, I can bring the binder in and let you guys see it. But it's just really the things they'll ask you at a dot inspection. So they ask for your vehicle registration. I have our insurance in there. We go ahead and put his health card in there. I keep all of our previous inspection papers in there. All those sort of things.
Maintenance records.
Maintenance records.
Keep track of your maintenance records. Every time you do an oil change, rotate, fuel filter, document all that stuff onto one piece of paper.
And it just works well because they can give it to them and they can take the whole binder, go back to their car, run, do whatever it is they do. And they really do change their attitude quickly because they see that you're organized and they like that. I think when I'm pulling my BOLs out of the envelopes I use, I think they see that you're organized and you're taking your time to do this. Then
if you're organizing a binder, in their opinion, you're organized everywhere else.
Yeah, so it's worth just getting that binder. It helps you keep organized too. But if you want, I will bring one to the next live or do a thing on it.
So where are we at? Truck and Tow template.
He's now washing the tape.
He loves it. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Solid steps.
Between Louisville and Lexington, I want to start hotshotting idea and the freight going in and out, good or bad. Actually, Kentucky has a lot of freight that moves in and out of there, especially Louisville area. And Mercer Transportation that I keep talking about is based out of Louisville, and they tend to have a lot moving in that area. And the stuff that we see moving in and out of there tends to be decent priced loads, I mean, for the most part. So if you want any more information on Mercer or anything like that, John, email me ohiohaulerllc@gmail.com, and I can hook you up there. See, Happy Pappy, there's some that have just started out and only talk about getting rich, and all the technical questions are answered with think or something like that. Yeah, I agree. Our ultimate goal is getting rich, but right now we're still learning, and we're going to always be learning.
Yeah,
and
of course, we don't want to be rich, but at the same time, I mean, you got to work hard to become rich.
I mean, we could put videos up and brag about how much we're making and all that, and but that's not our goal. That's not what's important, because you may have a really good week, but it may not always be like that. So we don't want to make people think that they're going to start this and be rich quickly. You know, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, I've said it before real quick, and I use the term hustle. You have to hustle out here if you want to turn a profit, in my opinion. That's what we're seeing. It's load after load after load. It's go, 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 go. And you're letting your ELD run out, and you're moving on to the next one. Have the loads lined up, one after another if possible.
After you filed your own authority, did you do all the paperwork requirements like ERC? Did you hire somebody? You've done all that.
No, I did all that. I'm stingy with my money. I figured it out myself. I moved forward and I took care of everything, including setting up the authority and also setting up the business, everything.
Would you have a video?
Yeah,
one of the first couple videos, isn't it?
It's my second video. It don't really go through the steps and process. It just talks about what is needed done.
And if you have any more questions, I'm sure you email Justin will try to help direct you on how to do that. What I use for vehicle maker records is the owner's manual section there. It's been accepted that way far, and I always love box. That's a good tip there, Happy Pappy.
Yeah, I actually downloaded mine from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration website, my maintenance records. You can find forms on there. I just printed mine off but that's all they want to see. They just want to see that you're taking care of your vehicle.
Right. South Steps, I'm in Florida. Let's just say it's lively down here, to say the least. I don't know where you're at in Florida, but that's where we are currently, is in Fort
Sunny
Myers,
Florida.
So it's beautiful down here. And yes, we know it's hard. It was easy getting in, but we know it's kind of hard to get out. We spent a couple weeks ago, we came in the Jacksonville area. We had no problem getting out of there, and we got out of there for $2 plus a mile up to Georgia. But I was happy. We came down here for spring break. I don't know if you watched the last one. So I was happy I found us a load that leaves out on Saturday for about $1.60 or 70 a mile. So that, wasn't too bad.
So you buy a Ford, you like walking. Yeah, I'm biased. I was a auto technician for 6 years out of high school and through high school and out of high school before I went to the railroad. I worked on all three major vehicles. I always liked Ford the best. I hated Dodges. I hated working with, it was Dodge then, now it's Ram. So I'm a little biased on it. I like my Ford, and I will probably always stick with Ford.
Happy Pappy Rich, that's a naughty 4-letter word. You're so funny. Thank you for confirming that the business is scalable as long as you have systems and structure in place, which is my goal. Completely agreeing, and I completely think that it is unnecessary and not good to just try to grow too big, too fast. That's why we just have 2 guys coming on for right now, kind of putting a list together for some after that. I'm going to do it slowly. I think if you try to do these things too big and fast, it's just going to create chaos.
Right. Most businesses grow too fast. They fail quickly.
And it's not good for anybody. If I'm having my guys come on and they're providing their truck and trailer, they have those payments, they have these things. I'm not going to try to bring a whole bunch of guys on and, not be able to provide enough loads for them or whatever the case may be. And, that's their livelihood. That's how they're going to pay for that. So definitely scalable business part about it.
There's a lot of work. What is the driver qualification? The DQF. What is all the requirements for that? You got to have a driver's application. There's quite a few parts of that file. So my best suggestion is just go to the FMCSA website and search driver qualification. And you do have to do it for yourself. Even if you are the owner, you have to have your own driver qualification. That's what they want to see if you get an audit, is your driver qualification on you and each of you drivers.
Yep. Dustin, your experience establishing a relationship with a new broker, provide them your paperwork, have them add your insurance certificate. I'm not really sure what you mean, but it's been easy. There's a lot of brokers that we've worked with that you don't really establish a relationship. It's more like a one load and kind of done sort of thing. You probably never will use them again. And but a lot of them, they see that you're doing a good job. You do provide, you do start creating a relationship with them. You do get your paperwork back to them. A lot of them do need you to add them as a insurance holder on the certificate. Some just want a generic certificate. I think that's what you're asking. Solid Stab, here in Fort Lauderdale, undercut rate. Yeah, we've seen that. The guy that we were picked, the broker that we called, that we've used several times for this load that we're taking out of Florida. I asked for more money, and he said he really couldn't do it because this is Florida. Pretty much, he knew that people would suck this load up quick, and he didn't have to pay an extra dime out for it.
Yeah, anything south of Orlando.
And this is my current situation. That's all the things that you have.
Yeah, TWIC card.
That will come in handy. That's one thing that we're wanting to get. It sounds like you really got a lot of things up and ready to go, and sounds like you'll do good. That TWIC card will come in handy. But
these UCR. Maybe Happy Pappy, if you're still on here. Do you have to do Public Utility Commission's, the PUCO number down in Florida?
Yeah. Well, we wanted Todd. We're real troopers in this live chat. Don't overdo it. We want more chats. I agree. This is the first time, so we have actually had people show up. So we wanted to make sure we answered everybody's questions because we're thankful you showed up and didn't want to leave anyone hanging. But I do think we'll probably be closing it out here soon. And we will, if everybody's still, interested in this, we'll do one again next week after we get home and work on some of this IFTA stuff and things, and maybe can help you guys with more of those. But
Yeah, I was asking about the PUC number because in the state of Ohio, I have to register through, for some reason, it's Public Utility Commission's office. But PUCO, I had to register for that. I just wasn't sure how the other states did that. It's very strange why I have to register through the Public Utility Commission's office. I don't understand it, but either way, I just wanted to confirm if other states have to do that.
yeah,
It's strange.
there's always something different and strange out there, but we do appreciate each and every one of you that came out tonight and all your questions. I hope we answered them. There's always a lot, and like I said, there's a lot we're still learning. Once again, you're always more than welcome to email ohiohaulerllc@gmail.com. We try to get back with people quickly. We've been having phone calls with people trying to help. We'll do what we can to help. So just reach out to us. We will do another live broadcast, and we'll let you guys know in advance before we do that. Keep liking, subscribing, hit the bell.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate it. And I'm waiting for Happy Pappy to get his channel up and running.
Yeah, Happy Pappy, come on. We want to live or something with you. Thanks, Don. We'll enjoy our vacation, and God bless you as well. No problem, guys. We really appreciate it. Again, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll try to help you guys as much as we can, and we'll be back on next week sometime. Is there a certain time that works best for you guys? I know we're getting ready to go off here, but is nighttime work good for everybody for these live chats? We'll just kind of play it. I have to borrow all of your old camera.
We're still using our old cameras on that one.
Thanks, Aunt. We're learning. This whole YouTube thing is new to us.
How many miles a week?
Roughly 2,500.
Yeah, it depends. About 2,000 to 2,500. But I say 2,500 is on the high end.
Yeah. You are just Happy Pappy, aren't you? We're definitely going to have to meet sometime, Happy Pappy. You seem like a very interesting guy.
So, yeah, we'll be down here tomorrow if you're coming down.
Yep. John, thanks. It cracks me up that people are even interested in our videos. But, hey, if you guys want to watch them, we'll keep putting them up.
Yep.
But
you guys have a good night.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys soon. Or I guess you'll see us soon.
Right. All right, guys. Thank you again. Have a good night. God bless.
God bless.
Until next time, stay safe.
Absolutely.
Disgusting. I have done so many pairs.